Super Bowl in history. There have been better finishes. There have been more memorable moments. There have been games with more on the line. But never has a Super Bowl been as great, from start to finish, as the one played Sunday night by the Philadelphia Eagles and New England Patriots. On one side, there was the Eagles, a hard-luck franchise without a Super Bowl title to its name, a fact worn like a scarlet letter by a fanbase with a chip on their shoulders approximately the size of the Liberty Bell. On the other side, the dynastic Patriots, led by the greatest coach and quarterback combo in NFL history, going for a record-tying 6th Super Bowl and attempting to win 3 Super Bowls in 4 years for the second time. Add in the intrigue of the Eagles' young MVP candidate Carson Wentz going down late in the season and being replaced by cast-off Nick Foles, and it was as much soap opera as football game. A majority of the list of best all-time Super Bowls tends to have two things in common. The first, slow starts. Last year's 28-3 comeback by Brady was historic and made for one of the best finishes the NFL has ever seen, but it came at the expense of a mostly unwatchable first half. The same went for the Rams-Titans Super Bowl that came down to the final play. Ditto for both of the Pats' other title game losses. The Belichick, Brady Pats had never before scored in the first quarter of their 7 previous Super Bowls. The other is that the games can usually be defined by a single, decisive play that swung, or helped swing, the result. The Tyree catch. Kevin Dyson coming up short. John Riggins' 43-yard rumble. Santonio Holmes' toe tapper. Malcolm Butler's pick. Adam Vinatieri's kicks. James White in overtime. Super Bowl Lee was a barn burner from the opening kick. As for defining moments, how much time you got? Here's why Sunday night's classic will go down in history as the GOAT USA Today Sports Images one. There was controversy. Oh, was there controversy? The two biggest plays of the game were disputed touchdown catches by the Eagles, both of which were ruled TDs on the field and then, upon replay, looked like clear incompletions, even by the confusing, oft-arbitrary nature of the NFL's much-maligned catch rule. On the first, Corey Clement bobbled the ball and didn't get both feet in bounds after gaining possession. Officials somehow determined that Clement's bobble didn't reset the process of his catch and the Eagles went up by 10 points. On NBC's broadcast, Al Michaels and Chris Collinsworth were in disbelief after the ruling. They'd spent the previous few minutes outlining all the ways Clement's flub meant the touchdown would be wiped off the scoreboard. Amazingly, the next touchdown overrule appeared even more of a no-brainer. Zach Ertz caught the ball near the goal line, reached out and then bounced the football off the turf in the end zone, losing possession. It was a virtual replay of a play that went in the Patriots' favor in December when Pittsburgh's Jesse James made an identical move and had his last-minute touchdown overturned. That play handed New England home field advantage in the playoffs and forced the Steelers to play a tougher divisional playoff game than the Pats. It changed the entire landscape of the AFC. Ertz's catch was upheld though, this time with the reasoning that the tight end had established himself as a runner. If a receiver is in the process of making the catch when he bounces the ball in the end zone, it's a drop. If he's running into the end zone, it's a touchdown. How Ertz, who took a half step before crossing the goal line, was ruled a runner will go down as one of the most controversial calls in Super Bowl history. The irony of the New England Patriots being on the receiving end of two horrible officiating decisions shouldn't be lost on anyone, by the way. USA Today Sports Images 2. Doug Peterson's play calling. Almost a decade after it happened, Saints coach Sean Payton still gets lauded for his risky, and ultimately successful, decision to open the second half of Super Bowls live with an onside kick. With the guts he showed Sunday, Eagles coach Doug Peterson made Payton look positively conventional. After New England grabbed momentum by scoring a touchdown near the end of the first half, the Eagles got to 4th and goal from the 1-yard line. A field goal and a 6-point lead looked like a fine way to go into halftime. But Peterson, as he's done all season, rolled the dice, this time in the high-stakes room. Not only did he leave his offense on the field, but he called for a gadget play that featured a direct snap to the running back, who tossed to tight end Trey Burton, who threw on the run to a wide-open Nick Foles, yeah, the quarterback, in the end zone. Touchdown. There was a fourth-quarter lead change in the game, so you can't say the Pederson decision won Philly the Super Bowl. But after it happened, beating the Pats suddenly felt probable, not possible. Oh yeah, Pederson called the play after Josh McDaniels and the Patriots ran the same exact one earlier in the quarter. On that one, Brady was wide open but the ball slipped through his fingertips. The ebbs and flows of the game were tremendous. USA Today Sports Images 3. The wildness extended all the way to the special teams, and not in a good way. Stephen Gostkowski, one of the most accurate kickers in NFL history, missed a chip-shot field goal. The Eagles failed to convert an extra point and then Pederson gambled, poorly, for once, with an early two-point conversion attempt that failed and could have been a crucial lost point for Philly. The Super Bowl tends to bring out the crazy and this one delivered it. 4. Bill Belichick got out-coached. In a Super Bowl. By a second-year coach calling plays in the biggest game of his career. It was staggering to watch in real time and even more remarkable upon analysis. Belichick's defense was so ineffective that making a third down stop and holding Philly to a fourth-quarter field goal felt like a moral victory. The sitting of Super Bowl's licks hero Malcolm Butler will be talked about for years. And then there was the backbreaker, a 14-play, 7-minute drive at the end of the game that killed almost the entire clock and forced New England into what was basically a one-and-done drive. The Super Bowl has never seen anything like it. 5. Even after a back-breaking fumble that appeared to end the game, New England managed a stop on the Eagles to force a field goal with 1:05 left. Brady would have 58 seconds and no timeouts to get a touchdown and two-point conversion for the tie. After the Eagles gave up underneath yardage on a few plays, the Pats were in position to attempt a Hail Mary with 9 seconds left. Brady ducked out of the rush, shades of Eli Manning in Super Bowl, and heaved the ball into a scrum at the goal line. It was tipped and, as it was falling to the ground, there was a split second when it appeared that Philip Dorsett might make a miracle touchdown grab off the deflection. As the entire city of Philadelphia held its breath, the ball bounced harmlessly into the end zone. USA Today Sports Images 6. The teams combined for 1,151 yards, the most ever in any NFL game, not just the playoffs, but the regular season too. The 74 combined points were the second most in Super Bowl history, and New England's 33 points were the most for any team in a title game loss. Some will say that a game with such horrible defense can't be one of the best ever. Others will look at the final score years from now and think that a game needs to be closer than 8 points to be a classic. They'll be wrong. The back-and-forth, 60-minute thrill ride of Super Bowl goes down as the best in the 52-year history of the game. With so much on the line, a team everybody left for dead just before Christmas stunned the world to bring home the Lombardi Trophy for the first time. USA Today Sports Images when Eagles kicker Jake Elliott made the field goal that essentially cinched the game. Bill Belichick stared straight ahead, clearly pondering his next move. Tom Brady had done it before. How was he going to do it again? But as the future Hall of Famer was about to sift through the unparalleled football knowledge he's gained through the decades, he did something you rarely see, whether on the sideline or off. It was almost imperceptible and went away as quickly as it came. But for that briefest of moments though, it looked like Bill Belichick smiled. He knew. More. Watch Eagles fans celebrate Super Bowl win with epic party in Philadelphia. Justin Timberlake selfie kid is the Super Bowl's biggest meme, so far. Update: Kevin Hart drops an F-bomb on NFL Network, admits I've been drinking. Eagles batting down Tom Brady's Hail Mary is even better, said to Titanic Music. Nick Foles' adorable daughter stole the show in his post-Super Bowl interview.